So Justin Baldoni's attorney, Bryan Freedman, has responded to the absolutely absurd filing that Ryan Reynolds did yesterday to be dismissed from the case. And you're going to want to hear this. So I'm going to go over the filing, and I actually because I am not a lawyer, I actually listen to two lawyers that are here on YouTube. That's actually the name of their channel. And I'm going to pull some clips from it and compile it and kind of give my spin on it because they gave the best dry reading roast of that filing that I have ever seen. I really enjoy their channel. But before we get into that, in my next video, Bryan Freedman has responded to the filing. So this comes from TMZ and it says, Ryan tried to destroy me. Now he wants out. Child. Ryan Reynolds is trying to run from the very firestorm he helped ignite by trying to get cut out of the legal battle between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, at least according to Justin's attorney. Bryan Freedman is blasting Ryan for filing a request to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against him, telling TMZ Mr. Reynolds' exploitation of his enormous power in Hollywood continues. This time, arrogantly asking to be dismissed from the case despite his publicly documented involvement extending far beyond just being a supportive spouse. Mr. Reynolds was a key player in the scheme, defaming Justin around Hollywood, strong arming WME into dropping Justin as a client and trying to destroy Justin's career however possible. As we reported, Ryan filed the dismissal docs Tuesday, calling Justin thin-skinned for complaining that so-called nice pool character from Deadpool and Wolverine was mocking him. No, it wasn't just the so-called. He confirms they say they don't dispute that the character was based off of Justin Baldoni. It was essentially Justin Baldoni. And so Ryan Reynolds like admits this. And then they say, well, even doing that, he's just thin-skinned for complaining about it. I cannot get into the layers of how that is exactly how bullies operate. If you've ever dealt with a bully, if you've ever seen bullying, it doesn't matter whether you were young and in school or whether a workplace, whatever it is, all of us have encountered bullies. And when they're called out on it, well, they're just like, you can't take a joke. Why are you being so sensitive? And then they clown you or try to make fun of you for not getting the joke. You're telling me you creating this character in this Disney Marvel superhero movie where you mock him, threaten him, tease him, make fun of him, and then ultimately kill him is somehow just it's just a joke. You don't get it. You're thin-skinned if you're upset about it. That is how insane this is. And the fact that this is an illegal filing makes it even, I mean, astronomically delusional. But let's continue. But Bryan Freedman says Reynolds trying to skate is laughable because his fingerprints have been all over the smear campaign against Justin and the Wayfarer team since day one. Mr. Reynolds now attempts to reduce plainly cognizable claims to hurt feelings, sending a clear message that bullying is acceptable. And that's exactly what it is. I love Bryan Freedman. I really do. I mean, the guy is just a world-class attorney. He adds, after lighting a match, Mr. Reynolds now seeks to run from the flames. It won't work. The Wayfarer party's claims against him are real, and they are serious. Mr. Reynolds can appear on as many sketch shows as he wants and feebly try to make light of his current situation, but we will not stop until he is held accountable for his actions. The sketch shows reference calls out Ryan for his SNL 50 appearance, where he and Blake very clearly mocked their legal drama with Justin. Ryan wants to be dismissed from Baldoni's lawsuit with prejudice. I didn't know it was with prejudice, y'all. meaning get it dismissed and then he can't even refile. I mean, this is not going to happen. This is a fever dream. This is delusions. This is narcissistic, grandiose fever dreams. This is what this is. The fact that they even put pen to paper. What kind of lawyer would even file this? And this is important because when I listen to what the lawyers have to say, I could read it as a civilian and I knew it was BS. I called it out the moment I saw it. But to hear how the lawyers break it down and tear this thing apart, and they're actually bewildered and just dumbfounded that a lawyer would actually write this motion. That's how ridiculous it is. But then to add on with prejudice that this he wants that he cannot refile, that he can't sue him again for this in some, this has 0% chance going through, but let's just say in some upside down world, we're in the upside down, and this did, it would mean that this was so good, this filing was so good, and he proved his point so well that now Baldoni's entire case, all of his grievances, all of the things he's suing for, well, he can't even ever file again for them because he's just dismantled Justin Baldoni's argument that well. You know what? I have to give it to Ryan for, I guess, standing on his own business and just doing whatever, because clearly they have run out of options. But it says, so dismiss it with prejudice, which could mean it could be, which means it can't be refiled at any point. Clearly, Justin's legal team is vehemently opposing that. Now, I did a little short video yesterday and I posted it here. I did it for TikTok, and it refers to two different articles, one from People and one from Variety. But if you haven't seen it, this is what the whole thing is. And just to give you a few snippets, Ryan Reynolds says Justin Baldoni can't sue him over hurt feelings. Okay. And I just want to show you. Here it is. Here it is. Oh my gosh. It says, Reynolds, who is married to Blake Lively, was accused in the lawsuit of mocking and bullying Baldoni by using the character of Nice Pool in Deadpool and Wolverine to satirize Baldoni's woke feminist image. In a motion to dismiss on Tuesday, Reynolds' lawyers did not dispute the Nice Pool is based on Baldoni, but said that Baldoni had shown thin-skinned outrage by complaining about it. This is just, every time I see that, I just cannot believe it. I'm just in shock. I'm just want to get to this point. Okay. He also accused Reynolds of calling him a sexual predator and of pressuring his agency WME to drop him as a client. In the motion to dismiss, Reynolds' lawyers argue that that is not defamation if Reynolds genuinely believes this. And this is not true. This is why this filing is so nonsensical. In one point, it's saying that, well, this is just Ryan Reynolds' opinion, so he can't be sued with that by that because it's free speech. It's not defamation. But even if it's not free speech, it's factually true, or it's I forget the term, but it's factually true because Justin Baldoni in a TED talk talked about how he used to do didn't treat women right in the past, and so somehow that makes him a sexual predator. I'm not saying Justin Baldoni, this TED talk does not show him as a sexual predator at all, but this is Ryan Reynolds' argument that he's admitted to that, and that's just not true. So they're arguing two different things. And besides that, they're arguing it's opinion, so it's protected free speech. But even if it's not protected, it's still factually true. But then on top of that, to include his TED talk or anything outside of the amended lawsuit, because Justin Baldoni filed one lawsuit, and then we got the second amended lawsuit. We got that, so a second round, a second draft of that was filed with the courts, and Ryan Reynolds can only dispute what is in that filing, okay? What was in the amended lawsuit. None of the TED talk was in there. So when his lawyers did this dispute, or they wrote this up, they knew it can't even be, the judge can't even look at it because it's including information or facts or claims that were never included in the amended lawsuit. So he's not allowed to even bring up random stuff, that whatever he wants to create or pull things out of his behind in order to include it and say, hey, I need to be dismissed from this lawsuit because in a TED talk he talked about not treating women in his life right at one point. Now he's better. So therefore, that means he's a sexual predator. And now I should be dismissed from this lawsuit because of it. So it's just nonsensical on all rounds, even to file this and include that, because he's not allowed to by the law. So I'm going to get into that in more detail in a video, but I just want to put that out there because most of us do not understand the legal nuances. So we have layers of why this entire thing that he filed to be dismissed from this lawsuit, it has no legs, like absolutely no legs to stand on. So why did they file it? And I believe they filed it in order to get PR, in order to, I guess, put something out there to hit back. And you can see the way it was written, even this language, it was very aggressive. It was over the top. It was very demeaning. And I do not think the lawyers put that language in there. I believe Ryan Reynolds insisted that he put that language in there. He wanted that language in there. But so guys, I'm going to get more into this story. We're going to dissect it, pull it apart, go through the filing. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel here. This is Melanie off script, not my main channel. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on all of my social media. The links will be below in the description box. And also, if you want to pick up some of my Team Justin merch, I always have that at realmelanieking.com. That link will be below. And I'll put the direct link to my Team Justin. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one.